Welcome to the GTP. I'm really excited as we go through this manga haul for fall. You know, fall, the leaves are changing, the air is getting a little more cool and crisp. You might be checking out a pumpkin spice latte, or might get some of your fall favorites when it comes to manga. So I'm excited to share with you over 75 volumes that I got for the month of September. And not only that, what I like about fall, just as the seasons are changing, I'm actually going back to school for my undergrad. So as we go through this series that you're going to be checking out, things might be a little different on how fast I can read and tell you my thoughts on different series as I'm going through school. But I think that's neat and just something I want to share in the community, as I know many people in this community are also currently in school. So I feel your pain. I get what it's like, not only trying to work, but go to school at the same time. So I just want to say thank you so much for chiming in and checking out this haul video. First, we're going to go ahead and check out ongoing of existing titles from Viz Media. And the first thing I picked up for Viz Media, and is one of the volumes I read right away, and that is My Hero Academia Volume 32. And this is the start of what is supposed to be the final arc. Now, I love My Hero. It's a phenomenal series. It did feel a little more edgy this volume, where I'm not entirely sure how I felt afterwards. So I was actually a little shocked. I love My Hero, but I'm already feeling a little nervous on this final arc to see how they wrapped up. But it's probably darker as it's ever been before, a little more gritty. I don't want to spoil it. I do usually like darker, I like gritty, but the direction it's going just wasn't what I was expecting, and how our main character Deku wasn't what I was expecting to see in a character. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen, as this is a series that's just continue to enjoy over and over again. But I was a little taken back, where I will say after I finished this volume I felt a little empty, but hey, we'll see what happens. Next up I picked up is Spy X Family Volume 8. This series is hilarious. If you haven't checked out the anime, I highly recommend. Season 2 is about to come out this fall as well. But this is just a great, funny, wholesome series. This one you get to see the Foyers family as they're on a cruise ship. Highly recommend checking out. I already read it. I laughed out loud. Spy X Family. Next up, I was actually very surprised, but I got volume 16 of Siren. Now, this is a series that I pre-ordered a long time ago, and I'm slowly collecting the volumes, and Rise Up Anime was nice just to send this one volume. So I'm crossing my fingers that this series will hopefully be reprinted fully by next year. I'm still missing 9 of the 16 volumes, but I'm very happy to at least now say I have the final volume of this series. Next up, we have Dr. Stone Volume 23. This is a series that has finished wrapping up in Japan with 26 volumes. I heard there might be an epilogue coming out, so we'll see. I will say this volume was a little more wordy than the other ones, and I'm a little nervous on how they're going to wrap up the series just in 3 more volumes. I thoroughly have enjoyed my journey so far with Dr. Stone, but I feel a little uneasy. It doesn't seem like 3 volumes is enough time to wrap the story, so we'll see what happens. But I'm still enjoying the journey, even though this one was a little more wordy. If you haven't checked out, highly recommend Dr. Stone. The anime is fantastic, and it was the anime that got me to start reading the manga, as I just wanted to continue seeing what happened with the characters. Next up is Call of the Night Volume 9. Now, this is a series about a vampire, little Asamia, as a guy ends up meeting a vampire, their relationship. I have not watched the anime. I heard the anime is pretty good. The only reason why is I don't have volume 6. So as soon as I get volume 6, I want to start reading the series. I have all the other volumes, so this continue. I love this cover. This dark and gritty. I'm not for smoking cigarettes, but I just thought this was a really cool cover. So I'm excited. Once volume 6 is reprinted, which I believe just got reprinted, this is a series I want to start reading right away. Next up, we got Mashle Volume 8. Now, this series I highly recommend checking out if you like One Punch Man. This is like One Punch Man meets Harry Potter. So not only do you have some awesome battles, but it's just hilariously entertained. I would not be surprised. I think maybe they announced they're going to make an anime. If not, it should be anytime soon. I think this series is going to do really well. If you're looking something that's a little more lighthearted and hilarious, I would highly recommend checking this out if you like One Punch Man. Next up is I got Cross Game Volume 5. Now this is a series I'm slowly collecting. It's a sports manga. There's I believe these are 2-in-1 volumes. There's 8 total. I have 1, 2, and 8, so now I have 5. So we're halfway there of collecting this series. I don't really own too many sports manga, and I wanted to own more, especially after I've been reading Blue Lock. It's a phenomenal manga, and I was like, you know what? Let's check out some more of these series. Some of the sports manga are in the top 10, top 20 of all time. I've heard nothing but good things, so as this slowly gets reprinted, once I have the whole thing, I'm going to start reading it. Next up is a Josei series that I'm so excited we have restock dates for all of it, and that is Nana, and I got volumes 19 and I got volume 20. This series is probably one of the most popular Josei series out there. I'm just stoked to think the idea that I will someday now own this series. I have volumes 1 through 5 and 21 so far, and now at least before the end of December, the whole series is supposed to be reprinted. Worst case, if it does get pushed back, if you haven't already pre-ordered, I'd highly recommend pre-order the series, whether it's on Takara Cafe, Right Stuff Anime, Barnes & Nobles. This is a series I think will get out of print pretty fast. Or I mean, not out of print, but in between prints, out of stock. So check it out if you haven't already. But I'm excited to think by January, maybe February at the very latest, I will be able to have this whole series and go ahead and read it. And I've heard maybe the author's talking about picking it back up again. It's been on hiatus for over 10 plus years. Praying for her health. I would love to know how they wrap up the series. Okay, next I picked up Alice in Borderlands Volume 3. Now this is the third 2-in-1, and this is the volume I was waiting for so I could start reading this series. My rule with manga is I try to do 5 volumes, and because it's 2-in-1, it's actually like 6 to see if it's a series I like. I've heard nothing but great things about this. This is a sort of like what inspired Squid Games, as the rumors say. So if you like Squid Game, if you like that kind of Hunger Games sort of deathmatch survival, this is one I highly, post-apocalyptic, one I highly recommend checking out. I'm excited to read this and let you know my thoughts. Next up is Beastars Volume 20. Now, there's only 2 more volumes I need for this series, and then I'm just going to read it. I haven't read the series yet, but because the last volume is supposed to come out within the next couple of months, volume 21, 22, I figured I'll just read it all in one shot. I've heard nothing but good things. I know it's a lot of people's top 10. Kind of think of it kind of like adult version of Zootopia. So this is another one of those volumes. As always, I'm excited to check out. But this one is I will stop what I'm doing and read it all in entirely once volume 22 comes out. Next is Golden Kamuy Volume 27. Now this series I'm slowly reading right now. I've read the first 17 volumes of the series. This really is a jack of all trades. You think of it kind of like a recipe, and this book really is kind of like a recipe where you have all these different flavors and spices mixed in. You have a little bit of learning about cooking. You learn about adventure. There's action, there's suspense. There's a little bit of romance. There's some battle parts to this. It really has something there for everyone, but it is a bit wordy. And there are even times where while I'm reading the manga, I've been completely lost and I'm not sure what happened or where I picked up. And some of the names are harder to remember. I really wish in the back of the volume the front of the volume more often they'd actually say, here are the characters, a bit of the story going on, because sometimes I do feel lost. This is a manga I'm working on giving you a full review. So now I'm up to volume 27. So once I finish reading through volume 27, I have a ton of notes right now for the first 17 volumes. I will give you my final thoughts and a review, I promise, for Golden Kamuy. Next up, I got the spin-off series, Thus Spoke. I want to say Ron. I think I'll butcher it if I try to say the other name. This is the spin-off for JoJo Bizarre Adventures. I've read JoJo Bizarre Part 1. I've read JoJo Part 2. highly recommend checking out both those. If you'd like to click the eye on the top right hand corner, you can see my thoughts on this series so far. And I'm excited to actually start part 3 once I finish getting through Golden Kamui, and I'd like to do a review of part 3. This spin-off series has 2 volumes total, and I really appreciate they kept with these hard covers. It's really pretty, the artwork. So wow, great job this. Thank you so much. I'm glad it wasn't different, but I'm so happy they stuck with these hardcovers to go along with the other JoJo's, and I think this is going to go so nice on the collection alongside all the other JoJo Bizarre Adventure volumes. Last I got ongoing from Viz Media is The Fist of the North Star Volume 6. Now this is a series, I don't know why I have not started it yet. A lot of inspiration from JoJo and other series. Got a lot of inspiration from Fist of the North Star, so I'm excited to read to see how that comes in line. Does this series hold up, since it was written in the 80s? But we'll see what happens. We'll see when we get to it. I have no excuse. I should start reading this soon. So that's all the Viz Media. Let's go ahead and check out what I got ongoing from Yen Press. And I'm really excited to show you this first series, but this is the spin-off for Higurashi When They Cry Demon Exposing Arc. Now this is a side story I collected. If you checked out my last haul of 200 volumes, all of Higurashi, except I didn't have this darn side story. I pre-ordered it, and for some reason it was in stock, but they didn't ship it from Right Stuff Anime. So I'm so happy that they got more copies and they sent this, so it's now complete. It is one series I'm really looking forward to checking out and binge reading the whole thing. My goal is for myself is if I do well in all my classes for my undergrad, as soon as I finish, as a just thank you to myself, as hey, thanks for working hard, I'm gonna go ahead and give myself the gift of reading this whole series, and as well telling you my thoughts in a wonderful Higurashi When They Cry review. Next up is I got several volumes of a series I picked up last month, and that is Barakamon, and I got several of the volumes here. Now this series is about a guy for calligraphy, which I know you're like, calligraphy, really? But yes, highly recommend. If you're looking for a slice of life series, this is the gold standard in slice of life. So I'm so happy that Yen Press chose to reprint this entire series. Sometimes I drop the whole series, but I'm so happy they reprinted this whole series. Hopefully none of them were damaged when I check them out. I have 5 more volumes to go, and this series will be complete. If you have not ordered this series yet, please, please, please buy this series. I highly recommend. You'll not be disappointed. You'll be very happy. This will get out of stock. This will not last. So if you're on the fence, check it out right away. It's a series you're not going to be bummed out buying the whole thing. In worst case scenario, I'm sure that you could resell it for the same price that you bought the entire series, but this is one that will not last. It's really a hidden gem that you should check out. Next up is I got Bongo Stray Dogs Volume 14. I just need Volume 15 now, and I will have the series complete, and then I can go ahead and I can start reading the series. I've been waiting a long time. I've ordered this entire series over a year ago. Once Yen Press go ahead and they reprint volume 15, which I believe they will. I believe the series is very popular. It does well for them. Come on, let's get that volume 15 and I can go ahead and I can read the series. Not much more I can say. It's a bummer I haven't started yet, but I like to read as much as I can all at once. Unfortunately, some series take longer than others. I have a feeling this one won't take so long, so once volume 15 comes in, it's another series I want to read and give you my thoughts. Next up is I got Horimiya Volume 5. This is the last one that I needed for this romantic slice of life comedy series. Definitely recommend checking out if you haven't already. Now, I have all 15 volumes. Now, surprisingly, there's actually 16 volumes of this entire series. I'm not sure when Yen Press is going to reprint that. Not reprint. They're going to print that last volume. I haven't seen anything on the calendar for it, but I hope they have the rights to it. I hope it will be printed, as this is just a phenomenal series. It'd be a bummer just have the 15 volumes but never get the 16th one. This is a very popular series for Yen Press. Highly recommend checking out, and hopefully sometime in 2023 we'll go ahead and get an announcement that 16th volume is on its way. Last for Yen Press, which is probably my favorite of, yeah, it's gonna be my favorite manga, I'm gonna say, for this entire haul that I've read, and that is Solo Leveling Volume 5. I love Solo Leveling. I don't know why it didn't make my top 10. It should have. This is the first book that I read when I got all my volumes, besides My Hero Academia. I think I read My Hero first, but this is my second, was Solo Leveling. This is phenomenal series. You have these beautiful color pages. It does read left to right instead of right to left like traditional Japanese, but this is a Korean manhwa. Highly recommend checking out. I am so sad to know Volume 6 isn't going to be out till March 2023, but this series is phenomenal. Action, adventure. It's an isekai where you have the modern elements of almost an RPG in real life. So this main character, he's leveling up, his skills are getting changed, and is affecting the world around him. So great. If I had to praise any series in the last 2 years I've read, this is probably one of my favorites of all time. Check out, if you haven't already, Solo Leveling. Now let's go ahead and check out some ongoing or missing titles I received from KODANSHA. And the first thing I checked out is Blue Period. Highly recommend, if you've not read Blue Period, if you click the eye on the right hand corner, you can see my review of this phenomenal series. It also made my top 10 of all time. I gave it a 9.5. This is a really wonderful manga about the world of art. It's about chasing your dreams. It's about striving for what you believe in. It has a lot of good leadership nuggets. It's just a phenomenal, wholesome series. It is a bit wordy, but it's definitely one I recommend. Next up is I got Eden Zero Volume 6 and the newest Volume 18. Now Volume 6 was the last major one I was missing, so I can go ahead and I can start reading this series. It's from the same mangaka author of Rave Masters and Fairy Tail. Now I don't own either of those ones. I figured, hey, this one's more in space, so I wanted to check it out. I did start watching the anime and I thought it was really good. So during the Right Stuff anime birthday sale, this series was on there, so I decided to pick it up. Now because I have Volume 6, it's a series I can go ahead and I can start reading and then let you know my thoughts in the future. Scott, was there a third title you might have read? Why, yes, there was a third title I read right away, and that was Blood on the Tracks Volume 11. And man, I just love this cover. I love the red with the dark black here with the gold, the butterflies. It looks just as creepy as the manga itself. I don't want to go into spoilers. If you haven't checked out Blood on the Tracks, I highly recommend it. It is a phenomenal thriller drama series. There are moments I had to put the book down as you're dealing with this manipulative mother, and the words coming out of her mouth, you could actually maybe have heard someone in your own past who've said those type of words if you've ever been around a manipulative person. But it's so good, so phenomenal. Highly recommend if you haven't checked out Blood on the Tracks. Last I got from KODANSHA, one I was really excited for, is this is a series I have never read, but I've just heard great things, and that was A Silent Voice, the Collector's Edition number 2. Now this series is complete as I have the Collector's Edition Volume 1. As you see here, this nice thick cover. I'm gonna go ahead, and this is one I want to read right away, as I know it's in a lot of people's top 10 just best stories. Silent Voice is about this bully who ends up being mean to this girl that is deaf. And then through that, he ends up growing up and realizing his actions, and I believe they start getting along, or he's very kind to her. It also has a anime movie adaptation, which I've heard really good things. I purposely never watched it because I did not want to ruin the manga. So I'm really excited. It's really heavy, but this is a nice collector's edition. I was gonna get the box set of the singles, but as soon as they announced that, I was like, man, I'm gonna wait for this. So because I have this, this is one I want to read right away after Higurashi. So as a gift to myself, after finishing my fall semester of school, after Higurashi, I really want to go ahead and sit and read A Silent Voice. Next up, from ongoing series, let's go ahead and check out some smaller publishers. And the first one I got was Faraway Paladin Omnibus number 4. It's So this is another isekai series. It's about a boy who ends up being raised by skeletons, the undead, and then you get to go ahead and follow his journey. It's one I haven't started reading yet. I got the volume 3 at my last haul. Hey, we got 8 volumes since these are 2-in-1. Need to go ahead and start reading it. But this is a series, because there was such a good sale during the Risa birthday, I ended up going out on a whim. I don't think there's a 5th volume to pre-order yet. Hopefully not, so I can go and catch up on the series. I can read it before deciding whether or not I want to continue. But I do enjoy isekai stories. Like that time I got reincarnated as a slime. So leveling we've talked about, so I'm sure this is going to be another good one. Next up, from small publishers, I now have all the ones that are available from Dark Horse, and that is Lone Wolf and Cub. And these are 3-in-1 omnibus. I got volume 9, volume 10, and volume 5. Now, there are 12 volumes total of the omnibus 3-in-1s of Lone Wolf and Cub. But as of right now, you can only order volumes 1 through 10. And as of this video, 1 through 10 are available complete right now on Right Stuff Anime. So I highly recommend it. This is a series you've been on the fence. It was out of print for a long time. It's just now back in print. I'd highly recommend purchasing it right away. This series that was on my list for a long time that I hope got a reprint. Hopefully that means volumes 11 and 12 will come up soon. I can't imagine Dark Horse reprinting only volumes 1 through 10 and not doing 11 and 12. So this series, I'm actually going to hold off on reading this until I can see at least an announcement for 11 and 12. Let's go ahead and check out some new to me series from Viz Media. In the first series I got, which I got a lot of volumes, but I'm still missing some, but I decided to order the entire series from Takara Cafe, which you haven't checked out. Highly recommend checking out their website. Their prices, if you go through the Patreon, it is truly like Right Stuff Anime's birthday sale all year long. This is a series I was crossing my fingers I wanted to be on the birthday sale. It wasn't, so I decided just to dive in forward through Takara Cafe, because you cannot beat their prices. The owner, Corey, is a phenomenal person. He's building this wonderful community, so I ended up picking up Haiku. Now, I still need 20 some on volumes of this 45 volume series. This is a sports manga. In my anime list, I believe this is in the top 10 of best mangas to read. I've heard a lot of different YouTubers and other people online just praise this series, so I figured, you know what, it's time to dive in. It's time to get Haiku. This is about volleyball, but other than that, I don't know a whole lot about it. But because it had so many good reviews, because it was a phenomenal price, I was like, you know what, it's time. It's time to pick up the series, see what it's all about. I've even read people I saw someone online talk about how they ended up reading the entire series within a month, which reading 45 volumes in a month, if you're binge reading that so fast, it's gotta be good. So because of that, with all 45 volumes, hopefully within the next couple of months I will have the whole series. We can start reading, so I'm looking forward. This one I don't think I want to binge, as I want to maybe slowly read a few volumes here and there, be able to digest it all, but I'm looking forward to seeing how this phenomenal story is. And there's an art book coming out, and I really do like art books, so hopefully that means we'll be picking up the art book too this coming March, huh? So that is Haiku. And of course, one more volume. Next, I picked up a one-shot from Tatsuki Fujimoto, Look Back. Now this is from the same author as Chainsaw Man. It's nothing like Chainsaw Man. I read it already. I'm still trying to digest it. I would say it was good, but I don't know if it's worth just owning this one shot. It's a story as you're looking back at this girl who ends up getting really into drawing manga, starts drawing a comic, and then she meets another girl that's a better drawing at her, and they end up developing a friendship, and you follow that friendship throughout the years. So it was a one shot. It was short. It was good, and I'm still processing what I read. I even had to look online trying to get more of an explanation on just some of the background, and now after I have that appreciation, I feel like I need to read it just 2 or 3 more times to really give a solid sense of the story. It is good, but I believe you can read it on the Viz Media app. So I'm not sure for an MSRP of $12.99 if this is worth it for a one-shot. But it was good. I'm just not sure if it's great. And again, I'm still trying to process what is this story and how can I tie this to my own life? How can I reflect on this? How can I be appreciative of it? So that is look back. Let's go ahead and pick out what I got from 7 Seas. And I made the mistake where this series I should have done for ongoing volumes. Instead, this is on the new to me. It's not new to me, so I apologize for that, but one of these 7 Sea titles is new to me. This one is not, but I got more volumes of a certain scientific accelerator. Now this series, I'm almost done collecting a certain scientific railgun. I just need that darn volume 6. If you have volume 6 on your hands, don't want any more, I'd love to take it off your hands. But I wanted to go ahead and get this spin-off series. I really want to do a video series on just the whole umbrella of a certain scientific railgun. There is this series, as well as there's certain magical index. There's another one called the New Testament. Who knows if that will ever be released in America, but thought it'd be really neat to check out this lesser known series and be able to just share my thoughts on it. I've heard good things about the spin-off from another YouTuber, so hey, we're already diving this deep in, might as well get the series. And speaking of, might as well get the series, is there another spin-off? Why yes, they had another spin-off, and it's only 4 volumes. So I picked up the next one, and that is a certain scientific railgun Astra Buddy. Now this spin-off is only 4 volumes, and I figured, you know what, we already got Accelerator, it's only 4 volumes, why not pick it up so I can tell you over my thoughts about the entire series as a whole, and then I want to rank them in order from certain magical index, a certain scientific railgun, certain scientific railgun Astro Buddy, and a certain scientific accelerator. So that's what I ended up picking up from 7 Seas. Let's go ahead and now check out some out of prints. And the first out of print is a series I don't own any of the volumes. It's one I'm on the fence wondering if I want to collect, but 4 of the volumes are extremely hard to find. And as you've seen on some of my other videos, the power of the Amazon wish list, where I'll add manga I'm interested and check out used, and sometimes they pop up for a good price on Amazon. And that is, I want to say, Wachua Pedal. I'm sure I'm saying that terrible. I'm not saying correct, so I'm just say Pedal. This is volume 10. This is the easiest of the 4 that are hardest. Volume 3, volume 5, and volume 6 are near impossible to find and are going for over $100 online each. This series I did order the first and second volume. Is a series I did want to check out. This is a sports manga on biking. I have a bike myself. Ooh, a bike. But I do enjoy bike riding. This is a series I want to see about racing with bikes. It looks really good because I was able to see volume 10 for a less than retail price. And because these are out of print, some of these volumes are extremely hard to find. I don't know if Yen Press will ever reprint those older volumes, even though it's an ongoing series. So depending if I can find 3, 5, and 6 for a decent price, I'm on the fence whether or not I want to go ahead and take the plunge and get these series. I mean, this is it's a 2-in-1. I mean, this is really nice. I like how big these are. I believe there's over 80 volumes in Japan, and we just got, I believe, 20th or 21st volume in America. That's 2-in-1. That means that we're only around volume 40. That's a lot of series to invest in. So hopefully once I get the first 2 volumes, which I ordered a while ago from another site, when they come in, I want to read it and see, is this for me? And if it is, I might pick up the other volumes and just hope, pray, and beg that I can find 3, 5, and 6. Next for out of print, I'm really excited to show this to you, as this was a series that was on my list for a long time and very hard to find, and I was able to finally find the missing volumes I needed for this series, and that is a certain magical index volume 6, volume 8, and volume 9. I can't believe I'm holding volume 9. This volume alone normally goes for over $100, which is just a bummer. I wish it was more easily available. So in volume 8, I couldn't find this anywhere. It was just not available for anyone. So it was hard for me to even try to think what's a fair price for this, because there's just none available. And finally there's one that was under $20. So I'm so happy to be able to collect this whole series. I now have almost all the volumes of A Certain Magical Index. So again, it's a series that I want to go through and take a deep diver in, as I feel it's probably more of a hidden gem that not enough people are talking about. So once I find volume 6 of Certain Scientific Railgun, I'm excited to read this entire umbrella of the series and let you know my thoughts. In the comments below, would you mind sharing what did you pick up for the month of September? And if you'd like to see more content like this and you've not done so already, would you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel? That helps others know about this thriving community that we are building together. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.